To you. Yeah.
Good evening.
On the line, I was wondering, I thought something went wrong. We have a lot of
Yeah,
people online waiting. Very good evening to you and
absolutely.
happy new year.
I'm fine. Happy New Year. How's your family? How's your daughter?
We're doing well. We bless God. It's so good to have you join us live. And of
Yeah.
course, I think because people are waiting, some people have already been sending me DMs. If I go through some of the messages I have here, it will show that a lot of people really, really want to learn. I'm going through some of the messages. By the way, um, we are with the CEO and MD of GTEX Homes, a real estate company that with that high innovative power force or workforce of young people. And it's so good to have you here. Can you please let us know more about your own experience in the business and what we really need to share with our people today?
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Congratulations. I heard you are now Dr. Richard Ayo Makun. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, my name is Stephen Akintayo. We started our company 14 years ago. We're a digital marketing firm. 7 years ago, we went into real estate. And today, we have offices in the UK, US, Dubai, and different cities in Nigeria. And today, we want to look at how do you build wealth, particularly when you look at rental income. From for those of you in the UK, those of you in the US, those of you in Dubai, those of you in Nigeria, rental income is one of the biggest way to make to become wealthy. I mean, when you look at a lot of the richest people in the world, what has helped them to be rich is called cash flow, income generating real estate. And that's what you get when you are into, if you invest into rental income real estate. And you can do it in different cities of the world. So we hope we'll have a fantastic conversation today, and it's going to be great.
Okay, fine. Talking about, I just wanted to get straight up into it. I mean, what is that first thing to look at for when when buying a house?
Mm.
Because we really want to go straight into
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
This
I mean, fantastic. So usually, particularly those of us from this part of the world, when we want to do real estate, we're thinking of a home. I want to have a beautiful house in Lekki like that of AY. I want to have I want to have a gigantic building. So we never think of investment when we're thinking of a house. And actually, the first thing you should think of is investment. Because, for example, taste change when it comes to real estate for one reason or the other. I remember when I moved to Lagos some years ago, my office was in Ikeja, 2012, because that was an asset, right? My personal house, I had to rent it in Songwater because to rent a house in Ikeja was going to cost me 1 million. In Songwe was 200,000 for 3 bedroom, right? But today, the taste has changed because our office now is in Banana Island, right? I no longer want to live in Songwater. But here's the mistake. Because I had thought Songwater was my dream, I probably would build 8 bedroom mansion in Songwater. Now that I've left Songwater, I cannot, I mean, people who want to rent houses in Songwater don't want to live in 8 bedroom. But if I had
okay.
thought of investment, right, I probably would have done 4 units of 2 bedroom, right? I will still get good cash flow coming in, and I will have moved on to the new place that I prefer to live in. And so the first thing when you want to buy properties, think investment, right? Not necessarily where you're going to live. For example, some of us, don't like island, though now I'm forced to be on the island, right? We like mainland. We feel water will carry all the islanders away, right? But if you are thought of investment, you realize that any building close to water always appreciate when it comes to rental income, when it comes to capital appreciation. So
Oh,
even
really?
though you have mainland, you will live in your mainland, but you will invest in properties on the what? On the island. Rent it out. And you even make more money for whatever and wherever you want to live. So think investment when it comes to buying a house.
Wow. And I understand you've been in this business for quite some time now, and then your
Yeah.
business comes across the UK, USA, Dubai, and what have you. Can you let us know how can someone in the UK, US, Dubai, or in Nigeria, yeah, use a loan to build real estate wealth?
Fantastic. I mean, very good question. One of the major mistake those in diaspora do, I mean, this may not easily work for those of us in Nigeria because the mortgage system is not that perfect. But in the UK, in the US, in Dubai, the mortgage system is a lot better. And it's actually one of the best way to build wealth. But again, the same mistake. So when somebody is in UK, for example, what you are thinking is my own residential house. Meanwhile, what you are supposed to do is get your first property. If possible, get a single family home, right, that has 3 floors. If I have a student of mine that did this in New Jersey, so he got this particular mortgage, $500,000, was a 3-story building, single family home. He decided to renovate it. He lives on the ground floor. Second floor, he rented it out for $2,000. Third floor, $2,000. The mortgage on the entire building, tax, everything is $4,000. So what is happening? He's living free house. The tenant is paying the mortgage. Now, as I speak to you, the equity on that same property is in excess of 100,000. And you can still use equity line of credit, right, to go and what? Get the second house. So that 100,000, he can get it, right, and use it as the deposit for second house, right? In a matter of 5 years, you can literally have 10 houses in the UK. In no distant time from now, my brother, you have 20 houses in your name. Tenants were the one that paid for the entire bill till it's finished, and you are in wealth. And we've helped several people do this. But unfortunately, again, the knowledge isn't there. A lot of us don't invest in when we get to our priority, and we're not thinking, how do we really build wealth, right? And unfortunately, I always say this, that a lot of the wealthy people in the world don't even write books, right? So, I mean, in Africa, by the way, I mean, the richest man, Bill Gates, has a book, Warren Buffett has a book. But if you check, the richest black man doesn't have a book. Richest black woman, no book. So the reason for our poverty is multi-layered. Those who are even doing well are not teaching. These are secrets I use. This is how I got here. And so we're not able to replicate their success story. So, I mean, if I live in America, US, UK, the best way to make money in real estate is to use debt. In Nigeria, a different story.
So which is actually better, to build a house or to get it off plan? Which is better? Off plan sales.
So off-plan sales will be the best I would recommend, because when you are doing off-plan, you have the opportunity for 2 sources of income: capital appreciation, even in developed economy, and rental income, which is the one what we're discussing here. So what is off-plan? Off-plan is, if I am buying a house, do I buy the house that they have already finished building and I'm just paying? Now, if I buy that, I will have to pay the current price as of today. Now, Or do I buy the one that they are building, right, and I'm paying gradually? So what off-plan does, you gain capital appreciation, because by the time they are completing the building, the value has gone what? Up than what you paid. Secondly, in some places, in some countries, even before you finish payment, you get keys, you start renting it out. You can even use the money tenants are paying you to complete the building. So obviously, I'll go for off-plan sales any day, anytime. But
So,
with a credible company.
okay, talking about a credible company, I would like you to talk about the credibility of your own company, because Nigerians generally, when it comes to investment, they just don't want to wake up and put their money somewhere. Talking about credibility, what is that thing that we have around your experience in the business for which has spanned over 14 years or thereabout, that will make people know that they are dealing with the right person? What is that thing?
Well, I think in our own case, by the grace of God, we in the diaspora market, we're already a household name, and there are several testimonies of people who have worked with us who can tell you their experiences. So it was when we started that people want to say, what do you bring to the table? But today, I mean, what God has helped us over the years, because people have trusted us and we've delivered. For example, 95% of our clients, my own personal clients, like my staff clients, have never seen me before in their life. Whether they are buying property in Dubai with us, or they are buying property in Nigeria with us, or they're buying in Dubai, because usually they are buying for investment purposes. And I'm talking about people who bought property of $1 million, of $2 million. In fact, there was one when I finally met him when he was to collect his key in Dubai. I said, oh God, I need to understand what exactly, okay, did you see in me that will make you to have paid in his own case $1 million for property and we've never met? What was the case? And you know, he said, first of all, somebody referred me to him, and the person almost swore with his life that this guy is credible. And then when he then went online, because I happen to have built a great brand, I mean, I have over 1 million followers across all my social media platforms. So when he got online, in fact, my videos have had over 50 million views. And all I do is teaching people how to build wealth, right? Either investment in one thing or the other, right? So when he saw some of our content, the depth of it, it was easy for him to believe. So for us, we give it to you as it is. Transparency is very key. Secondly, is also ease of doing business, right? For those who do business with us in Nigeria, for example, we are the first company to partner with DHL and deliver your document to you anywhere in the world. So you don't have this issue of my cousin collected my land document, went to sell it, and today I've been scammed, right? No third party, your document gets to you anywhere in the world. We're also the first company in Nigeria to start 24/7 operations. If you call our office 2 a.m., somebody is speaking. Literally, there are people who work 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We run shift, right? Sundays to Sunday, right? So if we just, January 1st, we started the same in our Dubai office as well. You know, so, and even in Dubai, we're the largest African-owned hub. And this year, we're the first Africans to go into commercial real estate in Dubai. We're starting our 12-story building in Dubai as well. So there's a lot we've done over the years that has helped us with our credibility.
I would say congratulations for that as well. But at the same time, talking about wealth acquisition, I mean, acquisition and the rest. I still find it difficult. I think research has confirmed that Africans in diaspora, they still find it difficult to build wealth for themselves. Why is that?
Well, I think the issue is because, you know, our parents, and I'm sure that probably happened to you, what they told us was go to school, get a degree, and get a good job. I remember, you know, my mother was a civil servant. My father's business had collapsed before I was born. If I saw WC for the first time in my life at the age of 13, it was miracle. Me and my sibling were jumping like because what we know is shampoo. You know what shampoo is?
I can relate with that.
Exactly. So I was born in Maiduguri and grew up there. So poverty was everything. I mean, poor people call us poor. My mom used to go to her neighbor to borrow money to send me to school and my siblings. So I really hated poverty. But again, I kept asking, why are we poor? You know, I didn't have a degree. I joined, she worked in PSC and what we used to call NEPA. Right, so I didn't enter NEPA with degree. So it was school start. If you can get a degree, you know, you get a job. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I got a degree, 8 years instead of 5 years because of strike. I wrote 100 CV with a cover letter that said, do not pay me for 6 months until I prove I can perform. I still didn't get the job. In fact, the third place, the guy said, you've done business where your company, you sell popcorn, books. There was no time this. He said, go and continue. So we continued with bulk SMS. We started that with 1,000 naira. 14 years later, well, we thank God for where we are today. We built a multi-billion-naira corporation in 4 continents. So for me is that people travel out with that mindset that the parents have set. Get a good job in California, get a good job in this, right? And you start at $20 an hour, $30 an hour, and nobody ever becomes rich by being an employee. I say it to those who work with me. Right? All our over 300 staff, I tell them, if one of them earns over 4 million every month, but I still say to him, you can't be rich even with this over 4 million. You have to invest your salary, right? And start having what we call cash flow from the investment that you've done. It is that investment that makes you rich. Even becoming CEO does not make you rich. There are plenty poor CEOs in Lagos, all over the world, right? So it's not even I own my business. It's the wisdom, okay, to become an investor, right? And begin to invest whatever it is that you're making. That money you say is not enough. How do you begin to learn about investment first? So it's not that you start investing, learn first, right? Not that, crypto is working, go and put your money in crypto. What is even this crypto, right? Real estate is working, go and put your money in real estate. Who is your real estate mentor? I always say this, if Nigerians and Africans can have investment mentor and business mentor the way we have spiritual mentors, Nigeria will be the richest country in the world.
I like that. That's nicely put. Nicely put. And I need to quickly say this as well. Yeah, I want to say this as well. You know, real estate business worldwide. Everybody will say this is a new oil. This is a new oil money. This is the business that is booming. You know, on per second billing. But I want to particularly ask this question.
Yes.
We've heard of crashes in different parts of the world. And in Nigeria, we haven't had any such bad news. But do you foresee anything in the future? Is there something somewhere? Because it's more like everybody's going into it now. And you know the way it is. When everybody goes to a certain direction in line with business, there's bound to be some sort of confusion. Do you foresee anything?
Well, very, very good question. You know, the EFCC chairman recently said that he's worried that in Nigeria is the only place where they don't have real estate don't crash. And I remember when I was watching that, I smiled because what he has not realized is that the housing deficit in Nigeria is said to be 20 million. Some say it's 22 million. Right? Now, if you also look at the population growth, if our Washington Post released a statement, let me say this before the Washington Post. Do you know that the richest land in the world is in Lagos? You know, are you aware?
Wow. Please say that again.
Yes.
The
most expensive land in the world, are you aware, is in Lagos?
Really?
Yes.
No, I'm learning now.
So now Manhattan, of course, is the most expensive, but they don't sell land in Manhattan, they sell floors. So if I want to, the only way I can buy land in Manhattan, I can come to your 30-story building and tell you I'm buying from 31st floor to 70th floor. It's either I demolish your existing building and build a 70-story building. That's how they do in Manhattan. So that will have topped, Lagos. But because they don't sell land, they sell floors, Lagos is number one, and that's Banana Island. To buy an average 1,000 square meter in Lagos, it costs you over $2 million. There's nowhere else you get that. Not even in Dubai. I do business in Dubai and many of these cities, right? So, and the reason is because of the recent Washington Post report. And the report says that Lagos will be the largest city in the world by the year 2100, with a population of between 80 million to 100 million. Wow. My brother, the land size does not increase. Where will they live? Well, so if you own any piece of real estate in Lagos, you are in crazy money. Your children will be kissing your picture. Grandpa, that he said is correct. Right? Wow. Because you literally have laid gold as dust, because the demand will keep rising. More people are being born, they need where to live, they need accommodation. So you can't get it wrong. Goldman Sachs report also says in the whole of Africa, the number one place for return on investment in real estate is Lagos, followed by Abuja, then Port Harcourt, and South Africa number 3. Right? So when you look at the reports, and these are not Nigerian companies, so you say they are sentimental. This is Washington Post. This is Goldman Sachs. So the data is showing you that there's no crash coming soon. I even teach people, more people should come. We need to start AY Estate. Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen. I'll say amen to that.
Yes, absolutely.
Now this is very important. I mean, one of the reasons for setting up this conversation, we know there are a lot of young people out there. There are people who are striving to do business, to get involved in even this real estate business. So my question is, how can the common man become rich in this real estate business without little capital? How can they invest their very small money and gain that inroad in the business to become somebody of relevance?
Wow, I love your questions. Fantastic. One of my story, I mean, one of the business I had to do after submitting 100 CV and looking for a job, one of the business I was able to do was real estate. I didn't start as a developer. I started as a broker, as an agent. I was selling for companies and I was earning commission, right? And that was the beginning of my own story, right? As they were paying me, I didn't eat with 5 fingers. I was able to gradually start buying my own. And before you know it, we started our own development. So what we personally did as a company, GTEX Homes, was 2 years ago, I was really worried about this rate of unemployment in Nigeria, really worried. And I said, you know what? I mean, we all abuse politicians. We all talk. And the question is, what are we really doing? Right? We all own business. And that's why, please, all of you are hearing me celebrate AY. That's why he's one of those that I admire a lot in terms of the comedy industry, his investment, right? I give this to you, right?
Thank you.
It's people like you that have the rights to correct any politician any day because you've done your bit. It's not a story of we're just talking, you know, you've done your bit. So I said to myself,
we are small leaders in our sector.
Exactly. But it's a massive one. If you look at how many people get employed in all of the AY live shows, the movies, you know, even those you've raised, And I saw the crowd. I mean, when we finished to even go home, so the impact all over the world is amazing. And so for us as a company, say in the next 5 years, we must provide 100,000 jobs, right? And we are committing 20% of every property we sell, if it's land, and 10%, 5% if it's about 10% if it's house into this. You'll be glad to know that last year, about 100 people got all expense paid trip to Dubai, Maldives from GTEx Homes. Over 200 million was paid out in salaries, commission, and so on and so forth. In fact, we just gave out 2 brand new cars, brand new, 13.6 million each, to 2 top people who sold last year, right? And we intend to continue that journey even this year, and it's free for you to join, right? You're able to join our community called gtexandassociates.com. You join, you register, and you join the WhatsApp group, and you have materials. We have regular trainings. In fact, in a month we have more than 3 trainings. You're able to learn how do you sell real estate. How do you meet someone like AY and convince him to buy a house, right? And convince him to buy a land. How do you, may be poor, but how do you, somebody can be convinced to buy a product as expensive for you? How do you stay in Nigeria and you're selling property in Dubai? We're excited about the fact that we have people who are selling our properties in Dubai, in UK, and they live in Nigeria. They're getting commission, right? So these are our own contribution to the system. If I've come from the street, from the gutter, and God bless me this way, is for me to also say, how can I be a part? And you'll be glad to know that we have 8,000 right now. No, over 10,000 who are in the group right now. So we're just 90,000 to go to 100,000 target. So and we're in the 2nd year. So I'm very sure we'll probably hit it before 5 years.
And I think they're asking questions online already. Somebody wants to get a link to join. And I'm just going to ask this question. Do you do any form of consultation, private coaching? And how do we have a feel of that?
Yeah, so I have a coaching program for people who want to start their own real estate company, but that's a high-end thing. I mentor a lot of real estate developers. I think I've just for those of you who are wondering how do you join, you can send me a DM or just go to www.gtexandassociates.com, because I can see a lot of those comments. I think let me see if I can text it. GTEx and associates.com. The associate has an S. I'm typing it. If you can help me pin it,
Okay.
GTExandassociates.com. So that's the link. You can go register. It's free for you to register. And so you can join. But to your question, I do coaching. I mentor a lot of property developers in Nigeria, in outside Nigeria. Happen to be one of my mentees because, like I said, there's only traffic at the bottom. At the top, you see, I've never seen plane, have hold up. So we need to have more people play in the industry, and particularly those who want to play globally. So I run a coaching program where I mentor people how to start real estate commercially, or even if it's private, but doing it at a higher level, right? So that's a program. You can send me a DM. It's not cheap. It's between $10,000 to $20,000. Yes, it's something you can be part of. But I think the one that everybody can easily afford because it's free is the gtexandassociates.com. Easy for anybody.
Your profile says a whole lot, and we can go on and on to talk and continue with this discussion. Now, talking about your profile or looking at your profile, how do you think one can replicate that which you have done? I mean, you've talked about so many things that confirms results. So in other words, you're result oriented. So how do we replicate all that results put together? in this business?
Yeah, fantastic. I think first is patience. It's not overnight. We have a very young, fine boy, no pimples. Hallelujah, like AY, who is over 50. Many people don't know you're over 50, right? But we are putting some years into what we do. So patience is key because we live in a jet age. Everybody just wants to hammer and blow overnight. I tell people, if you jump up, you come down. If you grow up, you stay up, right? So you have to grow up so that you can stay up. A lot of time people ask me, how are you this bold? I said, I'm this bold because, bros, I work hard for where I am today. No, dash me money, no day here, right? Godfather, one. I mean, oftentimes I'm able to boldly speak against politicians because none of them put their money here. Right, so we worked hard and hustled our way to where we are today, and as such, we can speak boldly. So it's good to grow up. Secondly, is also to respect mentorship. There are two industries that I respect so much, and because they have created a pathway here: the spiritual industry, pastors and comedians. Right, these two people. I think 2 weeks ago, Macaroni hosted me to have conversations similar to this. I mean, all of you, I'm a fan of all comedians. I literally probably consume, almost 2 hours comedy every day. I just laugh myself to sleep.
I can give you that in exchange for a land.
No, that's a joke. That's a joke. No, that's a joke. That's a funny one. So, yeah, but one of the things I admire about you guys is how you've created a mentorship pathway. I mean, you just finished a reality TV show where one of those guys got a car, got some money. You've created that pathway. So unfortunately, we don't have that in business, right? I was still telling somebody today. I said, if Dangote asked me to pay 200 million naira to be mentored in construction, in industry, right? Being able to start manufacturing stuff in manufacturing, I will pay, right? It's not even story. And you see, the reason why there's so much success in places like the US, Donald Trump's last coaching program before he became a president was $100,000 per person. And people pay. And nobody's saying, bros, Donald, you should know me, with all the blessing of God, do it for free. So the fact that they value that, if you make your first $1 million in US, you write a book about it, how I made my first $1 million. If you now sell the book, you are able to realize $5 million from the book. How I made $5 million, from writing out, so people are able to replicate. And people also value training. I mean, I've paid for trainings in the US and the UK, $5,000, $10,000. I am sometimes the only black man, whether African American or African anything, the only black man in the room, right? So we do not invest in training and mentorship. One of my mentors last year, what I paid in mentorship service is $105,000. He's a billionaire in dollars, right? And because of that relationship now, the target of our company across all the 4 continents this year is that we must do $1 million in sales, right? And we had to begin to put, because I have a mentor who has done it, who is showing me the road. They say, do this, take this step, take that step, right? So for me is place premium on mentorship. The reason we have several successful comedians is the role Alibaba and Co played, the role AY played. And you can see all these guys, they are not poor in any way, in any shape or form. All comedians doing very well. We can replicate the same thing in the business, in the business community. And I'm championing that. I'm bringing Cosmos Maduka. Tell us how, I was saying last year as well. You did from 200 naira according to folk, to $500,000, which we know is you are more than that, because Charlie is definitely more than $500 million, right?
Yes.
How did you do it, right? You know, with standard 3 education. So I'm bringing, I have a show now, investment chat in the Rolls Royce, where I'm bringing wealthy people to come and share, right? So we're using the Rolls Royce to attract the youth. But what we are putting inside is deep conversation about delayed gratification, about the principles of wealth creation, right? But we can't just all fold our hands, and our youth are suffering, right? If one youth even say he wants to contest presidency now, he does not have 100 billion to bankroll himself. A lot of people say, come and contest. I said, I don't have 100 billion. If you don't have 100 billion, forget being the president of Nigeria. And I'm not talking about because you want to bribe. Money you need to pay for logistics to people who will man each ward to make sure they don't steal your vote. Money you will pay for mobilization. This is not that you are bribing anybody, just normal. Our elections are expensive. I don't have that money. I have investors' money. And we have to build houses. We are doing 4,000 units in Nigeria alone this year. So,
talking about investment, what part of Nigeria are you investing on presently, and that people are also how is it like? How are people taking it? What has been the response?
Well, in Nigeria, we started, I mean, we're big in Lagos. We have more than 10 estates in Lagos. We're in Abuja. Excited. In fact, I just got a open an estate in Asaba, right, and send an invitation for dinner. We're also doing Port Harcourt, Enugu this year. We're doing Kano as well. Abeokuta, where I'm from. So we're expanding. Our goal is to do 4,000 as a unit this year and open another 50 estates. The average of our estates are 100 acres. But what we do more when it comes to land is called land banking. So the goal is you're buying the land, you are living it for a few years. When the location has grown, you either sell it or you develop it into rental income and you start making money for yourself. So yeah, but we also want to push more internationally because you know the dollar crisis as well. So we need to be stable, you know, liquid wise, so that we have enough FX as much as we have enough local currency. We also just moved to our Banana Island office, so we're doing a couple of, we're starting some construction in Banana Island as well. Since that's where the big boys like Dr. AY are, so we need to service their market.
The comedic doctor. You know, when real now, like you talk real business, you know, the comedians will take the back seat and learn. So on this live, I've been learning. I've been trying to see. You know, I discussed once with another very strong personality in the business, and all I kept on asking is there any way? Because one is wanting to know AY in this other business, another thing for AY to navigate and find itself in another business, because these small boys, they're all taking over because we can't be here forever. So we need people like you to also mentor us and teach us what to do. So the little that we have saved, we'll just find a way to invest on this other side for stability and what have you. So having said that, I want to really say thank you for sharing with us, for making us understand what it takes to do the business and what we can do to find ourselves in the business. So on that note, I think it's a good time to round up, because I know there are some questions. If you will look at the live later, there are some questions that are going to be there, and maybe somebody from the office can send direct DM most of these people the answers to all these personal questions. So thank you very much, sir. It's nice having you.
Thank you so much. What I would recommend for all of you asking questions, send a DM to GTEX Homes. It's a verified handle. You will see it has a blue tick. GTEX Homes. It has an S. I just pinned, if you can even pin it, just send a DM, or you can even send to me, myself and my team. Dr. S. Akintayo is my own handle. We will do our best to respond to you. However, let me also say here, our estates we are not cheap, so it's important so that you don't say our properties are not cheap, because our priority is to deliver quality and not necessarily affordability, because affordability is not in our hands. It's in the hands of, in terms of government policy, it's in the hand in terms of how much does it cost to even buy land and for construction, right? So let me be clear about that. But if you are a lover of quality, you're a lover of company that will deliver, not that you deposit 500,000, you want RAM, you want goats, you want rice. We don't do that. So so I have to say that before they start reporting me to you or the company to you, we are almost like upper middle class, a little bit premium going kind of brand. And we've tried that option as well, but we didn't like the headache. And we decided to say, let's stay where God has graced us. But it's easy, even if you can't afford what we sell, why not sell for us and earn a good income for yourself? And with what you make, you can start buying for yourself as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. S. Akintayo. Of course, now I know the reason why your business is across 4 different continents. That is not easy at all, at all. So you've heard it all. Please make sure you send, I already had it pinned down. Please send all your questions and make sure you follow the handle as well so that you can get first-hand knowledge of what they do on a daily basis. It's very, very important. I've been your host with this very original doctor. Let's leave the comedic doctor now. I've been your host with this Dr. S. Akintayo on my live, and we'll do this again, God willing. Thank you very much.